Join us as we go exploring the world of Pokemon. Today's topic, Chatot. When viewing the nature of the world, we usually face the conflict of nature versus mankind. Also, whether or not species suffer from our encroachment is not the reason to start here today. In fact, for today's topic, this is a story of how a Pokemon that by all means is not strong by combat standards can find success in the changing world. As by the standards of Sinnoh, Chatot is a common occurrence. Found constantly among the warmer areas of the region, this parrot Pokemon's plumage makes it striking and stands out to most. It is not uncommon to see people training Chatot, as this perky parrot is a star with learning. As its dex entry reads, it keeps rhythm by flicking its tail feathers like a metronome. It imitates human speech. It is not uncommon to see captains of ships with this bird attached to their shoulder, where Chatot can be used as a type of tape recorder for orders, or in many cases, they are launched onto the masses in order to disseminate orders to multiple crew members. In the wild, Chatot can be found consuming berries and nuts, where in the case of threats, they call to one another, which may be believed the case of their ability to mimic human speech. Chatots travel from one area to another, where, when they deposit seeds, after time can lead to forest growths, which allows them to be seed dispersers, helping the environment. As Chatot is viewed as a very helpful Pokemon, although not being strong in any sense, many questions are raised, such as how such a weak Pokemon could have survived to the modern day, as by the standards of the past, it was not very strong, and why people really like these parrots. The population of Chatot in the Sinnoh region is large, but there was a time where they were almost extinct. By the time of the Hisui records, this parrot was an oddity rather than today's standard. As in the rugged environment of the Hisui region, Chatot's frail power was not enough to make it a competent competitor to the super predators that shared the region with it, and due to the struggle of the parrot, Chatot was only found in one place in Hisui, as the Cobalt Coastlands was its last stronghold. But little did anyone know, the perfect storm was brewing, and thanks to the records, we know how it took place. As many merchants and travelers went through the coastlands, it was believed and confirmed that people had crashed ships along the coast, which would lead to the name of the location being the Deadwood Haunt. While the woods struggled, they still produced little food, and as its namesake, it was haunted, as ghost types made up the dominant types here. But among the trees hanging on was Chatot. Being one of the only other types of Pokemon found in the Deadwood Haunt, it is believed that the endemic population held on here due to the ghost types and remoteness of this location. It is also believed that they were joined by captive Chatot that arrived from shipwrecks, where they integrated into the population, boosting its gene pool and keeping it going. But this also passed on a life-saving behavior that would show up in time. As in the past, dex entries read, a versatile performer skilled in the imitation of human speech. It is said that older, more experienced Chatot can even understand the meaning of the words they mimic. Due to the long lives that Chatots can live, it is believed that the captive Chatots remembered their lives with people, and when traveling, people in the Hisui region were chased in the Deadwood Haunt by the ghost types. The Chatots that remember humans and seeing humans after so long would swoop in and landed on their shoulders, protecting them, as the normal typing of Chatot actually came in handy in protecting people. When travelers would return to Jubilee Village with these beautiful parrots, it would become a situation where everybody wanted them, as thanks to Chatot's specific behaviors being passed on to the wild ones, they became very friendly with humans, something very strange, as Chatot would become one of the first Pokemon of the Hisui region to truly be domesticated in the sense of living side by side with humans and being happy. And unfortunately for Chatot, this would actually be a blessing, as one of the key factors of people liking them was that everybody wanted them, as trainers and people would storm out to the coastlands in search of their own Chatot. This would actually lead to the situations of running into wild ones where they would need to be captured, and to some, even running into the infamous shiny, lucky, massive, and very interesting Alpha Chatot. As thanks to people capturing and also the befriending of Chatot, it would be very interesting as this once almost extinct bird in the Sinnoh region would thrive, and in no time, the population rebounded to a point where wild populations of Chatot would even be able to rebound. As the region would change, they would become very important, as they would be one of the few endemic Pokemon to effectively retake the region, as it would fall apart and many would leave the region. As Chatot would become a very fan favorite Pokemon among the people as they began to love them, and Chatot would be integrated into Sinnoh's society just as much as anything else. Hey guys, this is obviously the part where I ask you to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. We don't have ad breaks, but we'd like you to join on if possible. Now, without further ado, let's get back into the action. With Chatot dominating the areas once again where it used to exist in Hisui and modern Sinnoh, one of the key factors that actually led to its success was not the fact that it was easy to be kept as a pet, but its usefulness in society. As one of the benefits of Chatot is that it's actually able to exist alongside humans very well with little habitat, and as long as there's available food, this Pokemon is very good to keep around. As in many places among regions and the world, you can find Chatot in different places. As we move into areas where obviously being a very great pet, they're very interesting, as remember, they do imitate human speech. They're able to keep people entertained as well as be beloved by children, as they're effectively treated like any other pet and or Pokemon would be. In cafes and restaurants, they make very good possible workers, as they are able to record orders or tell people directions, and are effectively good at even warning people about allergies if they have them. In offices, Chatot is actually very useful, as what it does is it relays orders or commands to people, but even more importantly than that, a Chatot can be told to remember words, and it can tell them back to its trainers, as it does help in keeping it more afloat. And even in the case of law enforcement, Chatot finds its way, as this is an interesting Pokemon that has even been seen working together with law enforcement officers as partners, as although it's not the strongest, you can never break the bond between a person and their parrot, as the saying goes. In the case of Chatot, this Pokemon is used so heavily in among society of the Pokemon world, it's almost hard to imagine a world without Chatot being around. And as we know, this unpowerful bird, but is still striking with its plumage and carries a musical note, is so important to our society that it would be hard and repressed if we were ever able to miss this bird. And we have to thank Chatot for being a part of Pokemon's world and being one of the more useful friends. This has been a Mimicking Maestro. And as always, this is Brad from the Ad Army signing off. And for all of you out there, to sign on.